8 empty chairs. People think heartbreak comes from raised voices, slammed doors, or someone walking away. But mine came from silence. 8 perfect wooden chairs lined in the front row of my wedding, untouched, unoccupied, unapologetically empty. Each chair had a name card. Each card held a memory. And each memory burned a hole in my chest as I stood there in my wedding dress, pretending I didn't notice. My father. My mother. My 3 brothers. My sister. My uncle. My grandmother. 8 people who decided I wasn't worth showing up for. 8 people who believed withholding love would break me, tame me, straighten me into the shape they wanted. They called me a disgrace. They told extended family they were washing their hands of me. I married without them. They expected me to crawl back someday. Instead, I built a $680 million company. And now, my father wants a family dinner. But I'm not coming as a prodigal daughter. I'm coming with a truth that will shatter everything he built. Tonight, he will learn the cost of every empty chair he left at my wedding. This is my revenge. My full name is Ariana Preston, first daughter of the almighty Magnus Preston, a man who polished his image more carefully than he polished his shoes. He wasn't a father. He was a brand. Our home felt less like a family house and more like a stage. Everything rehearsed. Everything measured. Everything judged. My father was the kind of man who corrected your posture before he corrected your pain. My mother floated behind him like a silent candle, glowing but never burning. She whispered apologies for his harshness, but she never stopped him. My siblings learned early how to orbit him, how to make him proud. My eldest brother joined the military. The second became a lawyer. The third entered politics. My sister married into wealth at 21. Each child was a trophy with legs. But me? I was the odd piece that didn't fit the display shelf. When I turned 17, I realized I didn't want law school or a military academy or a political internship. I wanted to build software. I wanted to create solutions, not speeches. Apps, not applause. Systems, not scandals. My father looked at me as if I had admitted to wanting to be a clown. A Preston does not write code, he said. A Preston leads, I replied. That was the first time I saw fear in his eyes, fear that one of his trophies wanted to think for herself. His name was Daniel Clark, a logistics manager who never tried to impress anyone. He was gentle in a way that made you trust him without effort. He saw me, not my last name, not the shadow I lived under. My father hated him immediately. He is beneath you, he told me. No, I said. He is beside me. That sentence cost me my place in the family. They didn't argue. They didn't threaten. They simply didn't come. 8 chairs. 8 reminders that unconditional love was a myth in my house. I remember holding my bouquet, whispering to myself. Let this be the day I stop waiting for them to choose me. And it was. Daniel and I started our tech company in a loft that smelled like dust and optimism. We worked 14-hour days, ate noodles, and fought with old computers that crashed every hour. But we had something my family never gave me. Belief. We failed twice. Lost investors twice. Started again twice. Then 3 years ago, a national logistics crisis erupted, delayed deliveries, lost inventory, massive business losses. The whole country was desperate for a breakthrough. And I had one. I built a real-time AI-driven logistics optimization engine, fast, accurate, adaptive. Our pilot test saved a mid-sized company nearly $1 million in 6 months. The news spread. Investors called. Our valuation skyrocketed. Suddenly, I wasn't a disgrace anymore. I was headlines. And just like that, my father resurfaced, smiling, polished, pretending nothing happened. I still remember the text notification vibrating on my desk. Family dinner at the estate this Friday. We should reconnect. Bring Daniel. Dad. Dad. A man who couldn't look me in the eyes at my wedding now wanted to share a table. Daniel looked at me and said softly, "You don't owe them anything." But revenge isn't about owing. It's about finishing the story. And I already had the perfect ending prepared. Before responding, I continued investigating something a journalist had hinted at months earlier. Check your name in the state business registry. I thought it was spam. It wasn't. My father had used my identity, my social security number, to open shell companies, funnel public development funds, buy land illegally, and hide money offshore. My name. My signature. My email. But I hadn't signed anything. I hadn't written anything. I hadn't even known. He used me as a shield, knowing I was the child he could sacrifice without the world noticing. At first, I cried. Then I stopped crying and became quiet. Very quiet. Quiet enough to start building a case with investigators. Quiet enough to collect documents. Quiet enough to plan the dinner I knew would come. So yes, I RSVP'd. But I wasn't coming to eat. I was coming to end an era. The Preston estate stood like a monument to every lie my father told. Tall gates. Marble floors. Gold accents. A massive chandelier that could feed a village for a year. I walked inside with Daniel at my side, my spine straight, my heart steady. My mother gasped softly. My sister pretended to smile. My brothers stood awkwardly. Then my father descended the staircase, wearing a smile that had fooled an entire city. "Ariana," he said warmly, stretching his arms for a hug. I didn't move. His arms hung in the air until he slowly lowered them. We sat at the long mahogany table. The same table where I cried at 15 because he told me software was for boys in basements. The same table where he told me love should have a pedigree. Funny how tables remember even when people pretend to forget. Conversation at dinner was forced. You've done well. We're proud of you. You've grown. All the things they never said when I needed them. Finally, my father leaned back confidently. "So," he began, "I hear your company plans to expand internationally. Imagine what we could do together, our connections, your innovation. We could build something monumental." I raised my hand. He fell silent. "I didn't come here for your connections." His smile faded. "Then why did you come?" I reached into my bag and pulled out the brown envelope I had prepared months ago. "This," I said. My father picked it up with a smirk, until he saw the first document. His smirk cracked. Then dissolved. Then vanished entirely. "What is this?" he hissed. "Evidence," I said. "Of every crime you committed using my identity." My mother's fork clattered. My brothers froze. My sister whispered, "Dad." He flipped faster, hands trembling. "This is nonsense," he barked. "You think you can intimidate me?" "Intimidate you?" I interrupted. "No. I'm simply informing you the investigation is already open." Color drained from his face. "Why would you do this to your own father?" he asked, voice breaking. "You used my name to hide your crimes," I replied. You never thought I'd succeed. You thought I'd be too small, too insignificant, too obedient to uncover the truth. He slammed his fist onto the table. You will not destroy me. I stood. No, Father. You destroyed yourself. Silence filled the room like smoke. I looked directly at him. You have 48 hours to resign publicly from every political office you hold. He blinked hard. And if I refuse? Then the evidence goes public. Every detail. His chest heaved. He was cornered for the first time in his life. And one more thing, I said. Everyone looked up. You will never contact me again. Not to apologize. Not to negotiate. Not to manipulate. After tonight, I am no longer your daughter. My father sank back into his chair, broken, defeated. For the first time, I saw him, not as a giant, but as a frightened man whose empire was built on illusion. 2 days later, the news broke. Mayor Magnus Preston resigns amid allegations, investigation underway. The city buzzed. Reporters camped outside the estate. All the applause he lived for turned into whispers. But I felt none of the triumph people expected. Just peace. Not because he fell, but because I rose without him. The final reflection. That evening, Daniel and I sat on our balcony, watching the sky turn the color of quiet gold. Do you feel guilty? He asked. I shook my head. I feel free. Because revenge isn't rage. Revenge is clarity. Revenge is choosing yourself after everyone chose against you. Revenge is returning the pain to the rightful owner. And those 8 empty chairs at my wedding? They are no longer wounds. They are symbols, proof that family is not defined by blood, but by presence. Tonight, I reclaimed my name. My voice. My worth. My future. And my father? He now understands what it feels like to watch something collapse. Just as he watched me walk down the aisle alone. The end.